Okay, so welcome to the discussion on does Alec find Magnus physically attractive? We are going to look at a very qualitative analysis today. To start off, you might be thinking, what the hell are you up to now? Don't you have some work to do? I do, but this seems more important. So we will be digging into why this whole clownery started. So someone sent me an ask that said, does Alec find Magnus physically attractive? To which I responded with this very smart and creative meme reaction. And it led to this, and of course, then it led to this. And now I am sitting here at midnight, I suppose. Oh no, it's 10 o'clock. Doing this presentation to prove that Alex, is attracted to Magnus physically. Now, we will be looking specifically at one of the books because, as you know, the Shadowhunter Chronicles has 18 books, and we do have a significant amount of Magnus and Alec content and a significant amount of thirsting from Alec's point of view. So the module that we will be focusing on is the Red Scrolls of Magic. Please take out your copies if you want to look for these references. And the purpose of using this specific book out of all of them is number one, that this specific book focuses on Malek, and also the fact that there is an extraordinary amount of horniness displayed in this book from Alec to Magnus. So what we will be doing is looking at different types of horniness that Alec has displayed in this book. So start off with, we will be analyzing his body language. Now, the very first time that we notice Alec being horny or attracted to Magnus is here when they are in the balloon thing. I forgot. Oh, hot air balloon. And we can see that he's just blatantly staring at Magnus. And we have also scenes continuously, especially during this whole rune tracing scene where Alec responds quite interestingly, as someone who is physically attracted to Magnus should. And of course, we have this scene where we can see the way Alec's entire body reacts. Now, physical attraction leads to certain physical responses. Your heart rate increases, your breathing gets different, you sweat a little, you get all fidgety, and this is literally Alec displaying all of those, symptoms. And of course, he digs it. And under this topic, we will be looking at very blatant observations of Alec's horniness towards Magnus. And there is this scene where Magnus is wearing leather pants, and as you can see, my boy's mouth has gone dry, so I think that's very obvious. And of course, Alex talks about how he is specifically attracted to Magnus, and it is difficult for him to look at anyone but Magnus, so more obvious shit. And there are points at which Alec has made very soft confessions about his attraction towards Magnus because, he's new to all of this and he's trying to be, very subtle about it. And one of the examples is at the very beginning of the book where he talks about, I don't know, I like how you look, very shyly, of course. Then he admits to his sister, Isabel, that Magnus is definitely his favorite person that he's attracted to. And of course, this very sweet confession at the end of the book where he says, I don't want a super awesome exclusive European vacation, I want you. So that kind of proves that he is very much attracted to Magnus, physically and romantically. And of course, then we have the not so soft confessions from Alec's side where he's like, you know what, I'm attracted to this ass, so deal with it. And of course, this is displayed when he just directly tells Leon Warlock, who was just annoying to be honest, that he can't do better than Magnus, which is a fact. And there is the final scene where Alec literally explains to Magnus why he's attracted to him and how he has been kind of proving it throughout the book of the Red Scrolls of Magic. And of course, one of the best ways that Alec expresses his horniness is through his chaotic self. And the very first behavior that kind of exhibits this is his whole thing about ripping Magnus's clothes. Now, scholars have found that this behavior is continuous and is a pattern, and therefore is exhibited in the following sequels as well. That Alec has a habit of tearing Magnus's clothes because he literally cannot control himself to let the other man remove it. So, yeah, self-explanatory. And of course, there is a scene where Magnus walks into the room with a towel, and Alec is very rude to their guest and just asks her to leave because he just wants to get it on. And of course, that leads to the infamous scene with the Maserati, where I would like to point out that the following scene happens in less than 5 seconds. So he's like, I have to go. Right, I'm going. Yes, no, I have to go. And then he says, maybe I should stay. Then he's like, no, I'm gonna go. And then, of course, he turns the car around 3 times. And then it also leads to property damage, showing that his horniness has no bounds. So, in conclusion, do not tempt me to do this again. Do not ask me if Alec is attracted to Magnus physically, because the answer is yes. Look at this and look at the hashtag HornyAlec on Tumblr. It exists for a reason. Thank you. Goodbye. Stay safe.